Homeland Africa Hub organization is geared towards awakening the youth for the development of the continent of Africa. So we are a pressure group that advocates the best for Africa, especially in the area of education, youth empowerment, and agriculture.
I see. So apart from Ghana, you are in other places?
Right.
Which other countries
We are
are
in
you?
Nigeria, we are in Kenya, and we are in the state, USA.
So currently, what are you guys up to? Are you pressuring the government we have in this country, or are you okay with the government already?
I mean, it will be unfair on my part to be like, yes, everything is well with us here at this current moment. So, of course, I mean, things are not right. Of course, we are in for the nation, we are in for the youth.
All right. How long has you been operational in Ghana?
We started this whole thing in somewhere 2020.
I see.
We started actually 2018, but fully registered and documented in 2020.
I see.
Right.
I see. And how many membership do you have currently?
Specifically, I wouldn't be able to give a specific number because day in, day out, people keep on coming. And so if you look at the numbers we have at UG, University of Ghana, we have about 1,020 or so.
You have more than 1,000 members?
Yeah.
And how often do you meet all these people?
We meet every 2 weeks to
I see.
celebrate. Yeah.
I see. I see. So what is the agenda? You want to change government? You want to do what? What do you want government to do?
If you say change of government, that would be a little bit harsh, you know. We are in to do the best to make sure that leadership is accountable to the people as democracy defines. So, of course, we are in to advocate that we make sure that the Africa we all want, you and I, we would be able to get there.
Let's talk about Ghana.
Right.
Do you think the current administration is doing a good job?
With the current administration, of course, I'm the type who would not want to be like, hey, you know what, you have never done anything. But of course, with the expectation of the people, the question is, are they being met? And obviously, no. So yes, we can be satisfied with the current government. No.
So if there is one thing you want the government to make changes on, what would that be?
It will be about the youth.
What do you want the government to do for the youth?
The youth in every economy is the backbone of every economy. And if you can look at around and check all the developed countries, you could see that is the nation or is the youth that push that nation's economy. And so when you have a government who seem to sideline the youth and come with sort of a quack or a fake, you know, promises, and at the end of the day fail to deliver, and that we will go to the rooms and just talk of anything, plan anything, you know what do the people want to hear? And so let's go craft it this way for them. Rhetorics, sloganeering, and then at the end of the day, we are doing a different thing contrary to what the actual need of the people are, then there's a problem.
I can understand you, because most of the things I do, especially my episodes, I talk about the problems the youth have. Right. I talk about the things that we can do right in this country, and for that matter, in Africa. There is a lot of unemployment in Africa. There is a lot of crime in Africa. What do you think the governments are not doing right?
I got your question. Like, as I said earlier, when you have leadership that is more interested about rhetorics, you know, a fanciful stuff,
right,
sloganeering,
right,
let's present it to them this way. When you have leadership that think that the followers are willy lamp, then this is what you get.
You have to speak into the microphone.
What it is that we have a nation where the youth is literally lamenting. Practically, I am a pragmatist. I go to the grounds, I engage these people. And you know the true state of the nation or the true state of the youth is not being attended to. Because take a look at this. When we are talking of all this that leadership isn't doing right, then this is what you should be looking at. What is the true state of the youth? we once were told, look at the days in the early 1963 thereabout, where meetings upon meetings, AU had to meet, organizations, ponder, deliberate to see the best of Africa. When they were seen as, okay, this is what we're going to do. Agenda 2063, where we were going to put, silencing the gun, where guns were going to be put down. We are not going to allow, filthy stuff like that to go on. So let's talk to our people. All this, when you look at seminars, symposiums that have been held against some of these things, then practically you ask that, is that reflecting? Is that the true state of the youth? Is that the true state of the nation? Is that what we are expecting? So leadership come to tell you this, hosting, programs, symposium, or wasting money. And at the end of the day, you go to the ground and it's a different story altogether. It's like when we are in need of the people, like I said, let's go and tell them this. This is what they're going to love. This is what they would want to hear. But at the end of the day, we're not going to tackle it. So it's like the style of the technique that go into winning elections is kind of like the football game, where coach and his people in the room, work on their plans. This is the plan we are going with. This is how we are going to go into the game.
So you mean they don't have any intentions of executing the plans they come up with?
Not at all.
Tell us.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. That is why I've listened to some of your interviews, and of course, let me, congratulate you on the good work you're doing. It's like, what is it that we are not doing right? Exactly. What is it that we need to do? What is missing? It's like, I've listened to you where you actually hit harder on some of these politicians. In some of your interviews, you tell them that, this is what we have heard time and over again. And it's like repeatedly, that is what you keep doing. So you tell us a different thing. When the power is being given to you, is another story. So, why? Who do you think you are causing that havoc to? Because when it comes to policy, it isn't that they don't know the right thing to do. They know it. That's why I was talking about selflessness. If you have leadership that is not selfless enough and is thinking about themselves, look at our politicians today, African politicians.
Right.
Or their wives are living abroad, their kids are having the better education out there. Even our own system, our own hospital system, they don't even trust it. Even though they spent much money to build that, but they don't really care. They don't even see the relevance of it. If they are sick today, you see them flying over there in the Western to take care of themselves. So it's about, that is what they're going to love. So if at the end of the day, you are not being selfless enough and to be like, I didn't come to serve myself. I came to serve these people. Look at them when they want this power from us. Look at how they are following us, begging. At the end of the day, they get a power, pick a phone and call any of them and see if they're going to pick. They won't pick up your call until another 4 years again. So I am telling you that it isn't that they don't know the right thing to do, but it's kind of like we know the right thing, but we won't do it.
All right, let's break it down in these sections. Let's take, for instance, industrialization,
right?
Agriculture. Let's talk about it. Do you think any particular political party in this country has real interests in making Ghana self-sufficient when it comes to food?
No. This current government was almost there, but once again, it was seen to be rhetoric, because when you bring an idea like planting for food and jobs, perfect. Everybody hears this and is like, wow. Even opposition party will clap for you. That is when you are able to execute it. Now, how many funds were being pumped there? And what have we seen? So when I talk about leadership, look at one Achampon that came. Achampon brought this ideology of Operation Feed Yourself, where literally the people were being, asked to go to their various farms to farm. For your household, it was taken care of. I've heard you talked about, this poultry stuff, where chicken, look at the amount of money that is, the number of billions that are being spent on importation of chicken alone. When we were young, when we were kids growing up, chicken and stuff like that were not being bought from the market.
Exactly. Exactly.
When you needed the garden eggs, the onions and stuff, tomatoes, just backyard garden, you just go there. Now tomatoes is being imported from Burkina Faso. And what is the direction we are going? So for me, I say that Africa, the problem with Africa is leadership. No doubt about that.
I agree with you on that 100%. There's
because-
no other problem apart from leadership.
That's it. Because when we are talking of agriculture today, look at post-harvest losses,
Right.
where, literally these farmers, are able to...
They lose like a quarter of all that they produced on the farm.
You get what I'm saying? So this obviously tells you that leadership is not doing something right over there. I mean, you are not even making it lucrative enough for people. Rice. Look at Nigeria today. They are not important again.
Right.
So it's just, some of these things that you need to put in place.
In my estimation, I'm not cutting you short. In my estimation, I see no political party currently that is interested in farming because they feel it's not going to make them direct money.
Right.
As in if they imported it.
Right.
If they imported it, they are going to make money on the importation. They are going to sell it to Ghanaians. They make quick money. They will not have to look for land and plow it and get workers, process it probably and all that. They don't want to get into that field deliberately so that the country will be dependent on importation. What do you think about that?
You see, yes, it is true. Because look at it. Look at this issue here. I'm a businessman as well. I happen to have had these German friends who came down to have done business here. And we wanted to go into tomatoes farming and stuff like that. Listen, we had our proposal, everything documented and everything pushed to wherever we needed to push it to. Call any of these, leaders or whoever was in charge to take care of this business. And the whole thing collapsed. Coming to help the nation, we have spoken time and over again that, this diasporans should come over, African Americans should come do business and all that.
And I do a lot of that on my platform.
We've advocated number of occasions that these people come and you are not making the whole, system loose or lucrative enough for them, attractive for them to see the benefit of it. When you talk of agriculture, look at it. We have Africa, we have about close to 70 to 80% arable agricultural land. That a land that is arable enough grow every crop. And now we have turned our land into galamsey sites and stuff like that.
Now, as a result of what is happening, without the proper planning and infrastructure all over in the place, the young people of Ghana today are all looking for visas to leave the country because they say there is no jobs here. And even if there are jobs here, they are not paying.
Right.
The salaries are so low. So even when they hear of factories being operational in Ghana and they say, okay, go work there, see what you can do there, they are like, you go there, the salary is so small, we can't do anything with it. So they have to travel out of the country. Isn't this hurting Ghana when we see the youth who are supposed to build this nation move over to other countries? What do you think about that?
It is so disturbing. When you look at, it's not even a peaceful sort of relocation. If it was to be peaceful relocation, then there's no issue because the sad thing about it is Africa is not attractive no longer. Specifically Ghana, it's not attractive again. When I was growing up, when you ask me that should I want to travel or I want to be here in Ghana or I want to have everything done here, I would choose Ghana over any other nation. But I tell you, when you ask me that same question again today, I won't give you a specific answer. I won't give you a straight answer because it's kind of like mind-boggling sometimes. Look at the number of lives that are being lost on the Mediterranean Sea daily, weekly, monthly, annually.
And then the desert.
So that is why I said I call it not even peaceful, relocation again, because it's not that the person is having the money that he want to fly. You go over there through all this hatches before you can even make it there. How many people even make it at the end of the day? When you look at the balloon that they sit on, that takes them to the Spain, the Italy, and all that, and you look at it, people see death, yet they are ready to test it. When you have a state at this point, then there's a problem because people are choosing, death over lives. I know that where I'm going, it's not safe. And two things involved is either I die or I make it. Yet these people choose that part over living in their home country. And leadership is okay. Leadership is okay. Seems like there's nothing wrong. You have these politicians standing on stages, preaching and soliciting for votes, and they are comfortable. And I look at the true state of the people. The true living state of the people is not being met. And that we don't care.
Last night on TikTok Live, we talked about, in fact, this week, we've talked about the drought happening in the northern part of Ghana. The rains haven't fallen for almost a year now in that part. We are told that recently it fell like a few times. And as a result, the crops are not going to yield its produce. And as a result of that, a lot of farmers are going to lose their investments. And because of that, there's going to be shortage of food supply like yam, maize, and all those things that come from the north. It is not being spoken about often on radios and TVs. Nobody's like talking about it. Meanwhile, that is where we get a chunk of our food from. And there is a lot of conflict happening there as well. And the youth in that part of Ghana, they are either relocating to this southern part of Accra, Ghana, or they are leaving to other countries. Talk to me about this. Apart from the people who are at the very top of leadership, what about those who are in the MP level, the ministerial level, the DCE level? Are they also part of the whole problem when it comes to leadership in this country? Or is just the one person sitting at the top?
They are part of the problem. They are part of the problem because, come to think of this, when we talk of Rwanda today, everybody is mentioning Rwanda because of who?
Paul Kagame.
Exactly. So, when it comes to leadership, you have a dream and that you've called on other people to come. So, it means that whoever you are inviting on board are people that side with your vision. We were here when things were rough, when economy was sinking, and the finance minister, the then finance minister, Kenneth Oriata, was being called to what?
Resign.
Even MPs from his own party called on the resignation of that gentleman. What happened?
We were told he was in the middle of contracting a loan from the IMF or something.
You see, the sad thing about it is when even the MPs, those in the same party, came out saying that this is what we want to do, we are not in support of it, were they able to stand on their feet? No. Till their own interest and appointed time to the government that he felt that this is how it needs to be. So why is it that we can't hold leadership accountable? Why? You see, politicians today think that they are too smart. They have the infantry to do everything they want to do. When elsewhere it's not like that. Let me tell you a story today. It's about these people. We are part of the problem, the youth and the state. You know, those days when we were growing in the universities, in the colleges, you have Aluta groups where when things were not right, people came out to speak. Now you see they've been able to manipulate those individual independent groups into their own, sessions. You get to the university campus today, you have 10, you have TESCOM and whatever, who are in support of this various government. When you are about completing school and you are coming out to the real world, documents are being taken. You belong to 10, you belong to TESCOM. We are in governance. So this is what we're going to do. Bring your names. National service, where do you want to go? You want to go to the MPA, you want to go to the airport, you want to go to, harbor or whatever. Special positions have been given to people because you are with us. Instead of serving the interest of the nation, it is not seen again. So when you have this whole thing where leadership is not being accounted for anything, and politicians think that they are so arrogant that...
But we keep voting for them.
That is why I said we are also part of the problem as the youth. That is why I said we are part of the problem.
There are some of them who have been in parliament for more than 20 years.
And they are still there. And they come to speak ill about us. They come to speak stuff that I wouldn't want to mention here. You vote for these people, and at the end of the day, they come to call your heads, coconut heads on your necks that you don't even think, you don't even reason. And we are okay with them. Because when they come to the constituency, once in a while, they share some 2020 Ghana. And that is it. We feel that, yes, they are. You see, when you have these people, like I said, when you have leadership that is not accountable to anything or to any person, there's a problem. Because you didn't come there just by yourself.
Do you think our democracy will help us?
Democracy will help, but once again, the constitution has a problem. So until we work around it, democracy has no problem. But when you have a verbal democracy and practically it's not reflecting, these are some of the things you get. Because I look at it around and then I think through deliberately. If people think that this is what we got to do to help our people, that is what you should be doing. Not that go and tell them a story. And at the end of the day, let me tell you this story. There was this group of, how do I call it, lions. You know, we have another shepherd on the other side. This sheep will go out there to feed. There's a nearby river, and one of the lions got misplaced, found itself among the sheep. Now, anytime the sheep go out there to graze, and then there's a nearby river, they go there to also get some water for themselves. So when this lost lion found itself among the sheep, it does that continuously for some consecutive times, until one day, when they had gone out there to graze, so they went to the riverside to get some water. In the water, the lost lion saw its, hair appearing in the water in a different way. The horns appearing in the water in a different way. That day, it realized that no, there's something wrong. Looks like I'm in a wrong association. What am I doing here? So anytime the other lions see their colleague with the sheep, they will be chasing because they feel that their brother is lost and they need to get their brother back. But the other lion wouldn't know. It would also be running together with the sheep. So until this day, when the lion realized that, no, what image I'm seeing in the water looks like different from that of this group I found myself with. So it means today, whatever would happen, will happen. So it saw the other lions running, chasing, and coming. When it looked at the other lions, it felt that, no, looks like I have the same body with these people. Their horns and everything are like these people. So today, be today. I'm not going to run away. So it waited and they came. They hugged the other lion. They said, you know what? We've been following and chasing you guys, not because of anything, but we saw that you are a brother and you were in a lost association. So we needed to get you back.
What is the story behind the story?
Until Ghanaians will realize our power and know what we have and know that we have been in the lost forest for a minute and that we need to sit down and reason and know the power we have within this stamp. This is what you continue to get. We'll continue to be running away from these politicians. So you have politicians coming today telling different stuff today, and it's like everybody sees politician and you kind of like, you think why is it that when it's about electioneering, these politicians, MPs come our homes, try to cook with us, try to laugh with us, to do the or worry and why do they do that? Because at that point in time they know that we're all equivalent at that moment, or even that time we are even relevant more than them. Because until I give you this one of this, just one, I don't need even the two, I need one. Until I put it there, you are nobody. You are nobody. I think that the point before the decimal number would even be better than you as a politician. But these people feel arrogant, like too big, too bossy. Call them, I tell you, they wouldn't even pick up. When this other president, what's his name, ex-president, is it South Korea? When he was retiring, I've forgotten of his name. Listen to how people were commenting, how people were recommending
because they know what he has done for the nation.
Christ in me, tears were just rolling over.
Same thing in Singapore.
Lee Kuan Yew. Look at tears rolling on cheeks of people, like literally, like you see that this guy came to serve, and he came when the country was nowhere, zero, picking it from that point and making it what it is today. Then it tells you that leadership has a problem, because this is how some people selflessly. And when I talk about the constitution, who can take the country's money or the nation's money like that, chop like that, and go scot-free like that over there?
Impossible.
And so when you want to see or know what is wrong with the Ghana constitution, then there's this Ashanti proverb that the ochucha menino usrayi yana. Anybody that goes out there cutting the heads of people, the person cannot sleep flat like this because he's afraid that somebody might have bring machete, cutlass, or whatever. So they always lie like this, so that their heads will not be up, so that you can easily penetrate. That is what the ex-president Jerry John Rawlings did. He came through coup d'etat. You think that he might have allowed the constitution to go like that, or to be like that anybody
to prosecute presidents after their term?
So whatever he did was in favor of him, was to protect him.
So it's time we change the constitution.
Exactly. If not even a whole, a total overhauling, a total change, there should be an overhauling, there should be a review. And I give credit to the late president, John Ivan Fifi Atamils, because he started something like that.
But if you look at the current crop of members of parliament who are in place now, These guys are the ones responsible for making that move. But as it stands now, the same constitution benefits them. Will they ever want to change it?
That's why I said we need selfless leadership. I mean, people who are selfless. They are not there for themselves. People that would think of future generation and be like, you know what? If I take this penny, if I take this dime, no. The future generation is going to suffer. So I need to leave it with them. We have some of these great people in the world who literally grew up with nothing at home. No, I mean, they succeeded nothing at home in terms of their wealth or something like that. But because they saw that, when they saw that I have nothing at home, they felt that I should not also let my kids go through this same frustration. So they had to put life, they have to make life better for future generation. We don't see that in our leaders here.
You don't think our leaders, when they get up there, they remember what they went through and they wouldn't want people to also experience it?
Go and look at the hotels they own outside the country, outside the continent. They are private hotels, private homes they own. Looting, literally milking the nation property, running away with it. When you keep on throwing garbage in front of your house every day,
you are full of filth.
That's it. So you need to sit down to realize that, okay, I've done this for a minute. I need to change it a little bit. Bible says with no sabi. So this time around, we need to sit down. That's the work of Homeland Africa, what we are trying to do to open the eyes of the ordinary Ghanaian. Listen, some of this youth are even telling you they wouldn't even vote. And you would be like, oh, you should vote and all that. But they are right. Some of them are sort of mad, upset with these politicians. Look at our Ghanaian youth today. Drugs all over. What
are you trying to say here?
What I'm trying to say is that the youth should wake up. It's not about drugs. You have this youth today, when they go like a second, they bring out these bottles of Kaiser Apple, whatever, and you think that is a normal drink. They've mixed tablets, drugs into those drinks. And when you happen to visit some of the spots and the, how do I call it, pubs and stuff like that, so what I'm telling my youth is that this is not the time to do drugs. Let's stay awakened. Let's stay focused so we can do the right thing this time around. It's not about let's give these people some 20 Ghana, some 50 Ghana, and they can go get themselves drugs. At political, how do I call it, polling stations, you've heard some of these people say, your friend is saying, people take weed to polling stations just to make sure they give to these guys to be confused. But this is what they plan. Elections are being won in the room, and that's what these politicians do with us. They sit down, plan strategically. This is the strategy.
How are you guys doing this? How are you sensitizing these guys?
We will be having a program very soon at the University of Ghana. We're hosting a symposium, which we're going to invite you. We're bringing great personnel, from all angles, to come and talk to this youth. Media, everything, everybody will be taking it live. We're going to do sessions of programs like that before the election, just to awaken the ordinary Ghanaian to know the right thing to do and how to go about our votes this time around, because we are the electorates. Look at these politicians when they are in need of us, calling us electorates. After winning the election, they call you poor ordinary Ghanaian. They're poor Ghanaians. But when they need us, we are the electorates. So this time around, let us show them that indeed we know what we're doing. We know the right thing to do. We were lost one time. Now we've been found. We've been brought home. When we are talking of whether change of government whatsoever, I heard Nana Kwame Bediako went
Cheddar.
to, yes, Cheddar.
And speaking of Cheddar, I saw you in a picture.
Yeah.
With Cheddar.
Yeah.
What was it about?
That guy is a vibrant youth.
Right.
A very noble guy and very gentleman indeed. And
are you a part of his campaign?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But, I'm out for any visionary young man who is in. I've been advocating for this for a long time, that people would have or young men should go into politics and for leadership roles. Over here, part of the world, and those times it wasn't like that. Like that kind of thing. And we were being oppressed. who have been deprived of that right. If Kwame qualifies at the end of the day to stand for presidency, why not? And people, we need to check people's track records. So when you have people speaking ill about this gentleman, some are saying he's this, is that, it's just...
Have you met him personally? How is he like?
Kwame is very calm, and, you know, people may think that he's radical in a way, but Kwame is a very nice person you can ever meet. Kwame meets you, and I say that Kwame is a typical African Ghanaian son, you know, where we are being brought up with manners, you know, with values, with ethics, that this is how we need to live life. This is how we need to respect elderly. When it comes to the business aspect, Kwame is so strong that you look at what he has done so far with his personal or private life, what he has been able to achieve. Ajidia one kind of credit. Now, we see down by to get a single room here in Accra that you call your own, is it an easy thing? But this is somebody who has been able to penetrate. So he has gone through all the rank and files of life. That's how I see it. And that's why you may not even call him a common CEO today, but you may want to call him an industrialist, because this is how he can plan. This is how he strategizes. So for me, any young man, I tell people that if we have Kwame Bediakon, I mean his kind, if we have his kind of about 10, 20, let them all come out. Let them come out. Not just Kwame, not the Kwame factor. You see, that's why I said politicians will make you look unpopular. Everybody listening to me now should get this right. If you should come out, how does it sound? Or SRC president?
It's competitive.
And look at the things people will say about you. The politics thing, get money, people begin tagging you. Oh, where this Kedro, where you say, oh, he's into drugs and all that. Does the Ghana Constitution allow drugs? The airport, maybe of a flight, do they allow those drugs? So why has Kwame not been convicted for a long time? Until recently, when he came out to be like, I want to stand for president, that's where people begin throwing jabs. People should understand that this is the political terrain. I've seen other billboards that people are even posting the new false or something like the FALSE, the new false.
Interesting.
So look at the propaganda that is being involved. So for me, what I'm telling you is that Kwame is one of the nicest person, very hardworking. Asante si yama baako na atimi hweso ebe mam yinu. The Obama no baako a wontimi hweso yama no du. So this is, I mean, the track record should show about this gentleman. So for me, I want more of his kind. And I've listened to one of your episodes where you talk about how South African allowed, you know,
more than 50 political parties.
You see that? Obin was when you shouldn't
stop the person.
You shouldn't stop. Let's weigh them. I said, if we have 10,000 of Kwame's kind, let them.
They should all be allowed.
They should come out. I'm all for them. I'm all for them.
Nice.
Because I'm just looking at what Kwame has done so far, and that's what I'm looking at. So for me, I want to see more of his kind. And I've seen this movement for change people too. And I'm using the opportunity to say hello to my senior most, senior Akwasiada Odike. You know, he's my father, yeah.
He's your father?
Yeah, he's my father.
He sat in the same chair.
All right. And so I say a very good afternoon to my boss.